your attention is being harvested. This is energy harvesting 101. And this is just the front facing entertainment division of the military industrial complex. They want you to look at that. Why? Because there's something else going on behind that. Hey, everybody, I wanted to make a video to let you know about what's really going on with the Trump Musk situation. Clearly, what the media will never tell you, will never allow you. Now, I have to filter myself because the video will get taken down, but I don't have to filter myself on the class that I'm doing upcoming, False Awakening Part 2, where I'm going to discuss things like this, including clones, masks, flat Earth, and what really happened at Roswell. I'm going to let you know what's really going on. But for now, I wanted to make a quick video about this. That class, the False Awakening 2, is going to be linked in the comments below. Sign up. You'll start to understand this entire picture with real clarity, and it'll free you up from having your attention harvested. With that being said, let's jump into the video.
How's it going, everybody? There's a lot going on right now with regards to Elon Musk and Trump, and who better to give some guidance on the matter than the man who knows all? RJ, how's it going, man?
It's going well. How you doing, Justin?
I'm doing well. So can you shed a little light? Seems like there's been a divorce happening in front of our eyes.
Sure. Yeah. So the first thing, let's examine what's going on the metaphysical level. What is going on past physical sensory perception is that your attention is being harvested. So this is the name of the game. So we have to understand this. And as we know, my new book, The Law of Attention, breaks this down. So what is happening is your attention is being harvested. That's number one. All the world's a stage, correct? When Francis Bacon wrote that, and that's what I said, Francis Bacon, when he wrote that under the pen name of Shakespeare, he understood that this is what this realm is about. It's actors and actresses. This feud or divorce or whatever it's being called is all part of their relationship. Don't think for a second that this isn't staged. Don't think for a second that anything that you see on television or in the movies or whatever isn't staged. All of it is. All of it. So the first thing that we have to do is we look at that it has to make sense, right? So it has to make sense as to why there is a divorce. So, right. So they come up with something plausible that will make sense and pleases the mind. And therefore it's something that we can bite off on and accept. So Musk is supposedly upset over some of the tax cuts that would affect Musk's business, right? And then Musk is now saying that, well, he's on the Epstein list. Okay. So what does that really mean? Just on the surface, it means they want you to look at those two things because there's something else going on. So clearly they want you to investigate the Epstein list, right? Just remember, these two people have not broken up at all. This is just another phase of their relationship that's all planned out. So they want you to look at the Epstein list. Why would they want you to look at the Epstein list? So that's something that maybe we can answer in the False Awakening class that's coming up. But clearly that's where they're putting your attention, where they're trying to harvest your attention to look over here. So look over at the Epstein list, right? And then look over at the bill that cuts back on Trump's tax initiative. So they want you to look at those two things. Now, the other thing I want you to understand is that the media, if you look up Trump, Musk, divorce, or whatever, however you want to look up that, whatever search term you're going to use, I want you to see all the things that come up first. It's all news agencies. What does this mean? It means they want you to see this. They absolutely want you to see this. They want you to have this information. Again, think about what that means. Right? If the algorithm is supporting it, that should tell you everything. This is energy harvesting 101 and it's distractions. That's what's really going on. And this is part of why I do these classes, these False Awakening classes, so we can start to understand this. And one of the topics that we're going to talk about in the next False Awakening has to do with clones. What a coincidence. Has to do with clones, masks, and something else. Wait till I tell you what that third one is. But again, this is energy harvesting. This is distraction. And this is they want you to look in a certain direction. And all of this is staged. Everything that you ever see is staged, and anything that is promoted means they want you to see it. So think about that. Think about what that means if they want you to see it.
It's also controlled, right, RJ? Because like you said, when you try to search this stuff on YouTube, it's coming up with a bunch of just news outlets, news organizations. You couldn't even find this on like an independent site unless you search the exact keywords in order to find it. So who orchestrates these kind of things, if you don't mind me asking?
Okay, so the beings or entities or groups that organize these things are the people that you never see, ever, ever, ever. So our attention is always on uh, the politician or the celebrity or the big CEO or the so-called whistleblower or insider, right? So the attention and focus is always on those. We never actually see who's orchestrating and pulling the strings, and that's part of it. If your attention has been harvested and it's being directed to Trump or Musk or Biden or whoever, right? So the ones behind the scenes, and behind the scenes are multiple layers, and we could just think of a corporation, right? Think of the president, the founder, then the CEO, then the CFO, and then director of operations, and then managers, and then regional managers, and then look at the layers. It's so easy to keep people from knowing what is really going on. Do you think the workers in a company really know what's going on at the CEO level? Do they ever really know what's going on at the CEO level? Ever? And is it actually even difficult to keep the truth from them? No. So now you're starting to see how some of this works. Don't forget, this is harvesting your attention in a direction that they want you to see. They want you to see this. If the algorithm supports it, it's because they want you to see it. And the only thing, like you just said, Justin, that's coming up are all these different news agencies. That should tell you everything, absolutely everything. And then look at where the two actors are pointing your direction. That too is what they want you to look at, right? That's because that's a narrative, and there are multiple agendas behind having you look at where they're pointing. Epstein list and the bill. They want you to look at that. Why? Because there's something else going on behind that. That's why. So when you start to understand the game, it's easy.
So RJ, is there any point to taking two people that would seemingly be on the same team and then dividing them so that way we would then have to choose which side is right in this whole thing?
Well, it's all everything. This whole thing is about divide and conquer, and then not really having anyone knowing what's really going on. So yeah, this is also to divide and conquer. It's always so if they're promoting that there's cracks in the team or friendship or however you want to say that, if they're showing you that or promoting that, it's because they want you to believe that there's a fractured relationship. And so they also want you to believe that now's the time to go after one, if not both, because they're no longer together and they're vulnerable. And so now look at where they're pointing your attention to look. Now you're starting to understand how this game is played. I hope that made sense, what I just said.
RJ, if we can't trust the news media, where do we look?
Right. Trust yourself. So the whole thing is, it's not about, can I trust him or can I trust her? It's never been about that, because that's really impossible to sit there and figure out, okay, let me go through all these different people. Let me see if I can trust them. Once you trust yourself, that's all that matters. Once you know yourself, not your programs. Once you know yourself, then your own inner guidance system will turn on and you'll know what has the resonance of truth and what doesn't. But the underlying motivation of this is always to divide and conquer from within, right? By harvesting your attention and then making you look in these directions that they want you to, because then you'll investigate that. Meanwhile, there's something else going on behind the scenes. If we can just start to work with this understanding, a lot of this charade will make sense. And like I said, what a coincidence. And the False Awakening class that's coming up, that one of the things I'm going to be talking about is clones and masks, and a third thing that other people really have no idea about.
Okay, but can you tell us who's supposed to win or who's right in this scenario, RJ?
The only way to win is not to play.
Also, the only way to win is to jump into some of these classes, because there's certain things that we can't talk about on here without the risk of the entire channel being taken down. And those are the things that can be covered in these classes, right, RJ?
That is the whole point of why I do my private classes and courses, is because I'm not censored. I don't have to make sure that I fall under the radar of YouTube or whoever it is that likes to monitor everything. So my private classes and courses, I don't censor myself at all. And that's the whole point. So look at what this accomplishes in terms of this Trump Musk staged drama, right? Look at the life force, right, that is going towards it, harvesting of your attention, right? Taking your attention in the direction that they want you to, right? And then those serve as distractions, and there's multiple narratives and multiple agendas going on in terms of where they're pointing you to. And then that distracts you from really understanding what is the main purpose. It's always been a uniparty. If anyone thinks that this has to do with Democrat, Republican, you're naive. This goes way, way beyond parties, way beyond it. And this is just the front facing entertainment division of the military industrial complex. Politics is the entertainment division of the military industrial complex. And that's all we really get from the entertainment division.
Is there any way to watch it and be disconnected, or should the best way is just not even to participate whatsoever?
Well, yeah, the analogy that I always use is right, to be detached, because when you're detached, you're not projecting, you're no longer filtering reality to affirm your identity. And that's all we really see with the ego mind identity, is just a perpetual filtering of reality to just perpetually reaffirm your fake identity. Now, how that program ceases to run is the same way when we watch a boring movie. Right. So when we watch a boring movie, we don't care. We don't have a vested interest in a specific outcome. So we're in observation mode. Now, observation mode allows your intuition to actually speak to you. It's when you're engaged and rooting and got a horse in that race, so to speak, is when you will continue to filter your reality to reaffirm your identity. And then there's actual no clarity of what is really going on in any way, shape, or form. And so this is why they call this identity politics. This is all part of it, because the ego mind identity is a limitation program that runs by thinking. And so if that's the character that's watching, you're never going to touch clarity. You're never going to know what's really going on. You're never going to see it, because you're just going to continually filter reality in order to affirm the identity that you have built. So it is detachment through observation that actually breaks that spell. And if we just start over with pretend you just arrived here, no past, no future, and then just log in to what is going on, clarity will start to take over, and will begin to decode intention, because the physical senses and the intellect are not built to decode intention. But the higher mind, or the I am, can decode intention by feeling the energies around and allowing your intuition to guide you in regards to what is true and what is not true.
Oh, beautiful. That was a masterclass right there, RJ. Sweet. I can't wait for the False Awakening too. Hear about the clones, alien technology, and flat Earth as well. So if you guys want to check that out, it'll be the first link in the comment section and the description. Anything else you want to mention with regards to the Musk and Trump situation?
Enjoy the show, but don't let it. Get your popcorn or whatever it is, but don't allow it to harvest your attention. It's not worth it. It literally is the entertainment division. Politics is the entertainment division of the military industrial complex. There is so much more going on, and you're never going to get to it by two people pretending that they're on the outs, or two people pretending that they're best friends. Two sides to the same coin.
Oh, that's heavy. That's heavy. Is this like bread and circus? And the
Yeah,
whole days? Yeah.
of course, absolutely. It's all part and parcel of it, without
Okay.
question. Yeah.
Sweet. Thank you so much for the truth, RJ. Looking forward to False Awakening too.
Yeah, likewise. I'm excited about it. I'll see you then, buddy.